All right, welcome back, True Seeker. It is Tuesday, July 2nd, 2025. Unfortunately, the two videos I uploaded this morning are both mute, and it's not my fault. I tried to re upload both of them. They both have audio, but every time I upload it to YouTube, they are perfectly silent. And yes, I do have my co host with me today, Little Ruby. So we're going to move efficiently. I do want to start off by just showing this, you guys, just what a joke it is. Again, there's something weird going on because I'm getting the worst views ever on video uploads. Like, look at what percentage of them didn't even make 1,000 views out of the last 10 I uploaded. That's never happened before. And this did happen with the Mexican boat hitting the Brooklyn Bridge video. That one was also muted, even though it was not mute. But here, just to show you these videos. Video I uploaded this morning on Donald Trump in the 60-minute suit, which we'll talk about. Here's the actual video right here from the phone.
Welcome back, True Seeker. Last night, July 1st, 2025, one of the top stories became Donald Trump winning his lawsuit against 60 Minutes over them doctoring the footage of their interview with Kamala Harris. Trump sued for $10 billion. He was awarded $16 million. And I want you to see just how big of a ritual this is. Of course, I pointed out when the story broke on Halloween that it was right before the 60th U.S. presidential election, where Donald Trump had many a 60 rituals leading up to the 60th election, including the death of his ex-wife, Ivana. And we're going to quickly recap some of this, but I want you to see how perfect it is. Also buzzing last night, Trump announced a 60-day ceasefire with Israel and Hamas in Gaza. That was at the same time the 60 Minutes lawsuit was decided. And if you're following Al Jazeera, Israel's still reportedly attacking Gaza and has killed over 40 more people since the ceasefire was announced. But again, gematria. You learn gematria, you see why things are the way they are. And we pointed this out 4 years before it happened, why it looked like Trump would be reinstalled in the 60th election. His name in gematria equates to 60. If you're new here, there's 4 base ciphers of the English language: alphabetic order, reverse alphabetic order, and both orders with numerology applied. The name Donald Trump equals 60 when you run the alphabetic order in reverse.
So anyway, the 8.5-minute video, it has audio all the way through. I tried to upload it twice this morning. Both times it came through with no audio. Then I do a Diddy video after that, and when I upload it, I tried it twice as well. No audio. And again, here's the Diddy video from this morning that's muted on YouTube.
Welcome back, True Seeker. The big news this morning, July 2nd, 2025, the 61st anniversary of the Civil Rights Act, is that Sean Diddy Combs has been acquitted of the most serious charges. And I told you last week why it looked like he'd be found not guilty of what mattered. It was all in the numbers. The cases were rested last Friday, 46 days after the trial began, when Diddy equals 46, like not guilty equals 46.
So anyway, we'll go over all this. But yeah, it is really annoying. And it's obvious that there is some new level of censorship because worse views than ever. Not that they were all, the views were already atrocious, right? But now it's like a new level of atrocious in the last week. And 2 videos I uploaded this morning, both silent. It seems like they've done that to 1 video a month for the past year. Like it hadn't happened since the Brooklyn Bridge video, but now both this morning just silenced. Come on. So, and then meanwhile, you got some moron channel doing a stream about how we're pretending to be censored over here. Anyway, if you guys saw that, I did interrupt their live stream, and I put that on unlisted because I don't think anybody really needs to watch that video. But while it was going on live, I just had to break up the propaganda. Sweet girl. Oh no. Hold on. My co-host is. Where'd you throw your favorite toys to? Hold on, you guys. Hold on. Adjustment, real quick. 1 second. Where did your favorite toy go? Where did you do with it? Hold on. All right. I gotta be quick, you guys. It's almost nap time over here. So anyway, let's go through this real quick. I want to talk about the Trump 60 Minutes lawsuit. I want to talk about Diddy being mostly not guilty and why the prostitution charge stuck, which has kept him in jail for the time being. But there's this other story that's buzzing in the sports world right now. One of the top picks in the NFL draft, who happens to be a darker complected man, has been accused of oh, you're that word. You're not supposed to say he's accused of being a bad boy, assaulting a woman without permission. And this happened back in 2021, 4 years ago, supposedly. And now that he's got the big bucks in the NFL, she's ready to tell the full story. And just look at this, you guys. I mean, it's comical how it's the same numbers over and over. I've gone over this same pattern with NFL players. First of all, the accuser is Rebecca Hendricks. And take a good look at the gematria of her name. Forwards and backwards, 72. This accusation comes out today, July 2nd, 7-2. This is in the headlines on 7-2, Rebecca Hendricks. And, of course, he was drafted by the Bills, Buffalo Bills 72. Notice how his birthday is August 6th, 8-6. Again, this is the pattern. SEXUAL, assault, equates to 86. And he's got the 8-6 birthday. Keep in mind, there's a lot of 86 rituals that go down on Wednesdays, the day of the week named after Mercury the Trickster. We've talked about this many times before, too. Hold on, Big Mama. Can we make it through this? Is it nap time? Come here, Big Mama. Come here, Big Mama. All right. So we got, forwards, it equals 31. That's the jersey number he's wearing in training camp for the Bills. In reverse, 86. A perfect ritual for a Wednesday. On a guy born on 8-6. And again, it's just right here. Bills 2025 first-round draft pick Maxwell Hairston is being sued for alleged assault and intentional infliction of emotional distress. The lawsuit was filed yesterday, they're saying, but it's today that it's in the news. All the news breaking today. And the accuser's name, Rebecca Hendricks. Again, 72 forwards and backwards. So yeah, again, just little appetizer of news by the numbers with the same recurring repetitive patterns. The Diddy thing. Now, if you go back and watch all my Diddy work, from the beginning, we've been talking about the significance of 72 and 54. This whole thing comes to an end today, July 2nd, 2025. Do the date numerology. 7 plus 2 plus 20 plus 25 is 54. Remember, his father was killed in 72. He worked for Frank Lucas. We talked about Frank Lucas's death, synced with Denzel Washington's 54th birthday. Jesuit-educated Denzel, who portrayed Frank Lucas. Remember how we were talking about all that? And then, the very next day, Netflix adds American Gangster to their film library for their subscribers to watch. It's like, you got to be kidding me. And, both of Diddy's worst moments in history, the stampede at, before he was really famous, the stampede at his concert, and also the club shooting, both happened on Denzel's birthday. Again, Denzel, who portrayed Frank Lucas, who employed Diddy's father, who was killed in 72. But remember, the Jesuits, their logo's the sun. The word sun, S-U-N, equals 54, and the sun moves 1 degree on the astrological wheel every 72 years. So, yeah, okay. You got this on the 54 date numerology. We told you about a year in advance why Diddy was going to go through this saga at age 54 like R. Kelly did. And R. Kelly's back in the news right now for similar things, pleading for Trump to come save him when R. Kelly used to live in Jesuit-educated Trump's Trump Tower in Chicago. R. Kelly, that happened right after Trump turned 79, when R. Kelly's 79, like Society of Jesus, the formal title of the Jesuits. But yeah, again, we've been talking about how important these numbers are from the beginning of this thing. Now here we are for the conclusion, same numbers. And in light of today being the 61st anniversary of the Civil Rights Act, the only charge that's sticking is the prostitution charge, which equals 61 for the 61st anniversary of the Civil Rights Act. Sweet Girl's got her hands on the mic. That's a personal touch to the audio from Sweet Girl. But here's the other big piece. From Diddy's birthday to today is the 241st day of his age. That's the 53rd prime. His father was murdered 53 years ago. And look at the gematria of acquitted. 53, just like Sean Combs. And You also see how acquitted overlaps with Wednesday. In that same cipher where acquitted and Wednesday are 37, so is prison. He's supposedly remaining in jail, even though I doubt he's been in jail for even a single day. And also, look how not guilty, because he's not guilty for the main charges. Not guilty has the triple overlap with Wednesday as well. Again, if you're new here, gematria, Kabbalistic practice of coding numbers into words. Alphabetic order, A is 1 up to Z is 26. Reverse alphabetic order. Oh, shoot. Z is 1 back to A is 26, and both orders with numerology applied. It's very elementary. You learn this, you see through the ritualism, and you do enough research and studying, you start to understand what these numbers are all about. And last week, this video is from 7 days ago, I was showing how with both cases being rested 46 days after the trial began, it signified that Diddy would be not guilty for mostly what mattered. And here, just to scroll back in this video, again, in the same video I was talking about, again, how the whole thing was about Cassie. It started with the big Cassie ritual with the arrest, and it ended with the big Cassie ritual, but just, again, the 4 base ciphers. Diddy was arrested 56 days after the anniversary of No Way Out. His jury, let me see if I scroll back here a second, if I can see it. Yeah, again, his attorneys rested their case after just 20 minutes because there was nothing really to defend because it was all BS and hearsay. Remember, it was just Cassie and a Jane Doe after months of hearing all this hype about A-list celebrities and this little kid and that little kid, and there was none of that. It was Cassie and a Jane Doe. And by the way, Jane Doe equals 54, like Jesuit order. But yeah, Diddy was arrested on the day leaving 106 days left in the year, and they rested their cases 43 days. Or, excuse me, what was it again? Oh, Diddy's defense rested their case 43 days after the trial began on May 12th. We're almost done. Okay, sweet girl. But yeah, look at how all of that overlaps perfectly in the 4 ciphers with Cassie. Hold on, Big Mama. Hold on. Can you give me 10 more minutes? 10 more minutes. I don't know what you did with your favorite toy. Hey, you. Okay. So, yeah, again, you just learn this. You just see how the whole ritual unfolds. If you missed all the work we did with Diddy from before the arrest to the arrest, up through everything else to this present, it was just like this every day. It was news by the numbers. And remember how the trial was supposed to begin on 5/5 while Diddy was 55? Notice this whole thing comes to a close 55 days before Cassie's birthday while Diddy's still 55. And remember, Don Richard filed the 55-page lawsuit 55 days before Diddy's 55th birthday. And then days later, this was in the news the day of the MTV Music Awards, but then days later, Diddy gets arrested. But we talked about this, how MTV's 55, and she was from Making the Band, and Making the Band's 55. And in her lawsuit, she said that she saw that Diddy abused Kim Porter, who died by the numbers years ago. Kim Porter, 55. Don Richard, 41 years old at the time. And remember when she took the stand? Let me pull this up when Don Richard took the stand. It was just the same thing over again. It was all about 41, and then she testifies exactly 41 weeks after her 41st birthday when their group was Danny D. Kane from the MTV show Making the Band. I mean, come on. So, yeah, just the whole Diddy trial was by the numbers, and, you know, right before the trial began, I did a big video just going over a lot of the key things, everybody that was involved in it, all the X's, Little Rod, all of it. So, yeah, again, I mean, news by the numbers all day, every day. And then this Trump thing, the 60 Minutes lawsuit, again, this was right before, this lawsuit was filed 5 days before the 60th U.S. presidential election. On the same day that he wins the settlement from the suit, I mean, he didn't get his $10 billion, but he got $16 million, no doubt a tribute to the Jesuits who began in the 16th century with a 60-member order. Again, 16 and 60 go back to the original Jesuit history. Trump, Jesuit, educated at Fordham. Oh, mama, we're almost there. But yeah, on the same evening that this is trending, Trump is saying there's a 60-day ceasefire with Israel and Hamas in Gaza, and then Al Jazeera is breaking it down saying, well, since Trump announced that, Israel's killed over 40 more people in Gaza, so I don't know if there really is a ceasefire. But look at this. From the original 60 Minutes episode, September 24th, 68 of all years, from that day to Trump winning the suit or the settlement on July 1st, span of 281 days, the 60th prime number. And notice also that in light of 60 Minutes beginning in 68, the year of years, again, the year that so many agendas went into motion. Notice how CIA is 68 and so is Donald John Trump. And the CIA has collaborated with CBS. You can read about that right on the CIA's own website. But look at this. From the day that Trump filed the lawsuit to the settlement is also 243 days, like Central Intelligence Agency. I mean, are you kidding me? These numbers come together in rituals. The Oklahoma City bombing, 243 days after Bill Clinton's birthday. Bill Clinton, Jesuit educated at Georgetown. The CIA, once upon a time, created a big Jesuit ritual in 47. But remember, Joe Biden, who's also Jesuit educated, passed the nation's first counterterrorism legislation on Governor Keating's birthday, the governor of Oklahoma at the time, who's also Jesuit educated. And then 68 days later, Oklahoma City blew up with this same number thing, 68-243. And Timothy McVeigh, born in 68, was former CIA. So, again, just what are the odds? And again, you can go on the CIA's website and read about their collaboration with many news networks, including CBS. Here's one of their collaborations from back in the time of Ronald Reagan, the other mega guy. But what else is comical is Trump filed his lawsuit for deceptive doctoring of the Kamala Harris interview. Notice how that equals 95, like Halloween equals 95. And Halloween is the anniversary of Martin Luther pinning the 95 Theses. A reminder that Martin Luther King Jr., who assumed that name after Martin Luther, was assassinated on the 95th day of 68. Keep in mind words like Catholicism and mathematics and language, they all equal 68. This number is not arbitrary, 68. There's a reason so many agendas went down in 68, from 9/11 to World Trade Center construction to fentanyl to Corona, virus, all in 68. But just a reminder, too, about the 60 stuff with Trump in the lead up to this. It's too bad that my channel was deleted with the original Ivana Trump fell down the stairs video, because I had several videos that day talking about how it was all foreshadowing Trump to win the 60th election. It was exactly 60 weeks into the first ever Jesuit Ignatian year that Trump fell down, that all these news stories were coming out about Trump. And then the third and final one that day was Ivana falling down the stairs. Notice fell downstairs even equals 60, has the triple overlap with the Jesuit order. And again, the Jesuit order's first ever Jesuit Ignatian year began on the 500th anniversary of their leader being shot. That's Cannonball Day. This year we got the pandemic declaration for the upcoming shots on Cannonball Day. Another shot joke. But again, exactly 60 weeks in, the same day, earlier in the day, Trump had said he'd run in the upcoming election, which was the 60th. His ex-wife dies 45 years after their marriage. And yeah, again, that day was just full of it. But I'm sure she just fell down the stairs. Who believes this stuff? But another reminder, when the whole thing went down with the indictments and Alvin Bragg and Donald Trump, it was nothing but 60 rituals. Alvin Bragg equals 60, like Donald Trump, like indictment. And the closing arguments were exactly 60 weeks after Trump first appeared in court for the Alvin Bragg indictment. Exactly 60. And go back and watch my videos on this. I was saying how this is all theater by the numbers, and it's all just to make Donald Trump more polarizing. So when they install him in the 60th election, people will love him all the more and hate him all the more and be all the more divided. The same thing I've been explaining since February of 2016, why he was the perfect candidate for the United States, where it's about united we stand, divided we fall, and he's the ultimate divider. Again, the whole thing down in Atlanta, a lot of 60 stuff going on there with his indictment as well, and his mugshot on the 24th of August. Like how President Donald Trump equals 248, and he returned to the presidency while the country was 248 years old. But yeah, right here, here's the gematria. Trump to surrender in Georgia, August 24th. 60 days later, Willis requests October trial for Georgia election case. Again, just happened to be 60 days later. One of many 60s. when this was all going on, CNN ran this story where CNN, all the numbers and stats these cable news networks run, it's just all Kabbalah magic. 60% of Americans approve of the indictments of Donald Trump, said CNN at the time. And notice it was a different 60 Minutes thing going on also in the news that day with Marjorie Taylor Greene, said to be a conspiracy theorist like Donald Trump. Judge Juan Merchan was another part of the ongoing charade of numbers. Let's see. Hey, we're almost done. Thank you for being patient. Oh, yeah, the day that Trump announced his Middle East tour, where he got his plane, his new Air Force One from the Middle East, the nation associated with terrorism. On that same day, a famous wrestler just dropped dead at 60 who was known as this Middle East figure, Sabu. I mean, come on. And when Trump's associated with WWE, again, the poor guy's full name equaled 201 and 93, like Order of Illuminati, founded by the Jesuits. He joined Extreme Championship Wrestling in 93, died 150 days after his birthday. Again, they say the sun's 93 million miles away or 150 million kilometers. The sun, the thing that illuminates the world. Trump's in the Illuminati card game. So, yeah. And then also, Trump yesterday threatening to arrest Zohran Mamdani, the candidate that was chosen in the primary at age 33 on Masonry's birthday, which goes without saying. Yesterday, when Trump did this, it was 256 days from Mamdani's birthday. Again, that's just the 201st composite number. See that? Those numbers paired together, too. It's all a big show. It's all very divisive. And then from that stream I did earlier, man, when I do what I consider the worst streams that I'm largely embarrassed about, that's when you guys bring out the financial support. That stream earlier today, talking to that panel of trash human beings, paid for disinformation, you guys were pretty generous in whatever that went on for, an hour and a half or 2 hours. The King of Salsa chipped in too. He said CT, he was the main fraud putting on the show. He said, looking like a real bitch right now. And he certainly was. Mary Davis chipped in 10 and said, Gematria is the truth. I appreciate it. John Mendoza chipped in the generous too. He said, Zach is too good for these people. Everybody's too good for those trash people. Yeah. But it is annoying when people are out there deliberately slandering and putting out all this false information. And then, again, I mean, if you saw me confront these people, they didn't, there was nothing coming out of their camp, just nothing but idiocy. Ava Moon said, be quiet, please. English Gematria 822. I think you were talking about the trolls on that panel that wouldn't shut up, but that is funny, and I do appreciate the 822. Honest Diecast said, homegirl looks like Axl Rose. Man, Axl Rose was prettier than that girl. Let's not lie. And Dale with the big 5 again. Dale, thank you so much. You really are too generous, but I do appreciate it every time. Thank you so much, Dale. Young Jay 216, got to thank Young Jay's from Cleveland. He said, for the cross-eyed redhead hater. Salute, Zach. Just so you guys know, CT, because I joined his stream, I couldn't control any of the super chats. He got to control all of that. I don't think it goes to him, but I couldn't put anything up on the screen, and there's a reason that he wasn't acknowledging any of these. Ava Moon chipped in 411, said, who are these people hiding behind fake names? Indeed. Like CT, who doesn't go by his real name, and we know why. Clayton Bigsby of the internet. Leper Messiah also chipped in 5 and said, much love from Akron, Ohio. So anyway, in my opinion, that was the worst stream I've done of the year, but probably also the most financially supported. And it just reminds me, it's like there's something about emotion and money and emotion making people, because there's a lot of emotion in that stream and yelling and calling each other names. And it reminds me of when I was in LA and I did that stream that was, the stream was probably close to 12 hours long, right? And I remember at about the 11-hour mark or with an hour left, out in front of LA, dropping all this knowledge to fans all day. I think that stream had raised like $25 in super chats, right? 11 hours of work, that's pretty bad. That's like an average donation rate of $2 an hour, right? And In the last hour, though, the stream jumped up to about $800 in super chats. And what happened in the last hour? In the last hour, we moved where we were, and we moved next to the outside bar across the street from what was the Staples Center, what's now Crypto.com Arena. And I believe that was the first year they renamed it Crypto that we were down there. But when we were next to all these fans outside, they were talking all this trash, and I was talking trash back, and that's what people like. They just like the verbal sparring. And again, 11 hours of what I thought was a lot better content, just, long information drops of knowledge about what happened to Kobe and the Lakers, and then winning the finals exactly 41 weeks after LeBron's birthday on Father-Daughter Day after Kobe died at 41. Again, 11 hours, $25, 1 hour of back and forth sparring with people on the street, $800. And I don't know, in a way to me, it's kind of tragic. And I think that's also part of what's going on with my channel too. I mean, the censorship and the deletions aren't helping anything, but I do rant a lot less lately. And I think that's also part of the reason the viewership's down. A lot of people like those rants. But yeah, it's just like today. Probably what I would say is the worst stream of the year is one of the most financially supported. So I do appreciate the support. I wish the better work drew the support. And thank you, Nathan. Appreciate you always. Nathan chipped in 5 here and hit the like. Yeah, we have over 100 people watching, and we got 71 likes. I just saw it jump up 2 from 69 to 71. Smeed 20 chipped in a big fat 2. Okay, sweet girl, we'll wrap it up. We'll wrap it up, mama. I'm sorry. You want to say goodbye with a big smile? You want to say goodbye with a big smile? Can we get a big smile? Can we get a big smile? She's tired, you guys. Woo! Little Ruby smile. Little Ruby smile. But she's a tired girl. I got to get her to sleep. Ruby! You want to say goodbye to the true singers? Woo! Okay. Ruby and I got to sign off. This girl needs a nap. And, yeah. Anyway, thank you to everyone who does hit the like and the share. Thank you to everyone who supports the work. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're out of here, Ruby. It's nap time. All right, guys. Have a good rest of your day. And if you have something that I missed or a good addition, please do leave it in the comments. But I'd always copy your comment before you post it because YouTube does like to delete comments. All right, Ruby. Woo! Okay, we're getting out of here. Happy Ruby. Yeah. All right. She is mostly a happy girl, but you got to make sure she gets her naps in. All right, you guys. Have a great rest of your day, and until next time.